Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Hope you're having a really amazing day. Are we halfway through the week? It's a Thursday. So it's Thursday. How fast is the time going? I want to talk about this topic because I know I've been speaking to quite a few people lately who this has had an effect on. Being trolled, having haters, have people say things about you that maybe aren't true. And so I wanted to share with you some of my experience. And weirdly, I was planning on doing this. And then last night, I went on a Zoom call, which I'm going to tell you the story about this Zoom call last night, because when I was on it, I had this moment of, I was meant to be on this tonight because I was meant to hear this story so I could share it with you guys. Now, being an entrepreneur, doing things that maybe other people don't do, even just like starting a business, any industry, most people's fear or what stops them is what other people will think about them. Now, the reality of that is, that's only the first step. If you actually get really successful at what you do, you're going to attract way more opinions, way more interest in what you're doing. And some of that will be good and some of that will be bad. We call them trolls or haters, call them whatever you want. If you've ever had experience of any of this, just drop a yes in the comments. Or if you've seen anything online, or if somebody has said something to you about somebody else, just drop a yes in the comments, because I know that this happens all the time. One of the things that really worries me actually is that our kids are being brought up in this world, and you think, gosh, not only do we have to kind of prep them for like the normal stuff, but there's also this added stuff of the online trolling, hating, whatever world as well. And of course, it doesn't make it easier, because if there are people out there who have certain feelings towards you, they can watch you everywhere. They can see what you're up to, and that triggers people a lot. Jealousy is a wasted emotion. You are absolutely right, Emma. So what I wanted to tell you about is this story from last night. So I have paid $20,000 to be coached, and call it a mastermind if you like. So I don't know how many people are in there, maybe like 20, 30 people. And we decided to have a little kind of like get to know you session on Zoom. And so we're all on this Zoom and we're all saying hi and sharing about what it is that we do for business, all different backgrounds. Some are in network marketing, some are in traditional businesses, some have consultancy businesses, like every kind of industry you can imagine, every kind of business you can imagine, they're in there. And we've all paid $20,000. So we're on the call and we ask each other, how did you come across our coach? And one of the girls said, well, I actually watched a hate video online. And she said, I watched it on YouTube and I watched these terrible, terrible things being said about our coach, Jessie. And she said, I watched terrible things being said about her. And so I was curious. She wasn't in the same industry. She's got a completely separate business. But our coach coaches like people in every different kind of industry. So she said, so I wondered, is this real? Like, could this person really be this bad? So she went away from the YouTube video and she started following her online. She started looking at all her stuff and started going through all her content. And what she realized was, actually, this is somebody that I want to be around. This is somebody that I want to learn from. Like, this woman knows her stuff. And so she paid $20,000 on the back of watching a hate video online to our coach for her to coach her. $20,000 she made from someone taking time out of their precious life to watch and follow people and create content about somebody they don't like. That to me just went like, really, if this tells you one thing, it's that any marketing is good marketing. And people who have opinions about you, people who hate you online, people who troll you online, people who write comments everywhere about stuff that they don't know about you, people who talk to others and they kind of warn them off you or say, oh, don't watch her, or she's this like this and she's like that. Actually, what they're doing stupidly is just making more people watch you. So if I can change your mind about having trolls and haters and people having opinions about you that they don't care about sharing, whether they're true or not, then let me change your mind today that any attention is good attention. I'll give you another example. Back in, I don't know what year it was, 2016, I was in a newspaper article. The same newspaper that then years later has done so many positive things about the company that I worked with, the industry that I was in at the time in network marketing, and so many. So it's just completely, newspapers it's just strange, right? One minute they're hating on something, the next minute they're loving on something. Like, it's just life. So in this newspaper article, it wasn't actually all about me. It was like 4 lines about me, but the premise of it was, people are building side businesses that are paying them like loads of money outside of their blue collar jobs. And so they were talking about this doctor, but my face was like the massive picture they put on it. He was like the main bit of the article. They put like, I don't know, a short paragraph about me, but all they put about me was that I was a police officer. Now I was living in a castle. It wasn't a castle, it was a folly, and I rented it. And they said I paid £4,000 a month in rent. And I didn't. It was 3,500, but nobody asked me to like confirm any of the information they were posting was correct. And so actually I was mortified. I was devastated. I cried. I was like, oh my God, why would they do this? And then I had a massive, massive influx. I had so many followers. I had so many messages. I had so many leads that came in saying, I want to know about what it is that you're doing. And I want to know how you're building your business. And I want to work with you. So from that negativity, I saw it as a massive negative, actually came huge positives. The views on my YouTube videos massively went up. The clicks on my website massively went up. My following on social media massively went up. So it really wasn't a negative, but it was a really good lesson for me. You might not, and this might not be something in the newspapers, it might not be someone doing a YouTube video. It could just be someone saying things about you. I've had this just last week, where somebody had said something about me. It was absolutely categorically like 100% false, not true. And what the people who do this don't realize, good morning Puppet, what the people who are talking about you and saying things to others don't realize is that them saying that to other people makes that person come and check you out. Makes that person come and take a look at what you're doing. You're showing up authentically. You're being like you. And that person who's coming to check you out actually really likes you. They suddenly think like, oh, that's not true. I can see that this person is genuine. This person is not what that person says they are. So what that does is that creates completely the opposite of what the intention is to the person who's saying the nasty things or the false things or whatever, their opinions about, negative opinions about somebody else. And that actually just helps you. So every time I hear like somebody said this about you, somebody said that about you, and it's always, I mean, quite often it's the same name, but you know, it's lots of different names. And I'm like, these are people and names that literally do not come into my head. I don't think about them for a single second at all, but there's a reason for that. And this is because it might help you to understand this. Just put a yes in the comments if this is resonating with you whatsoever. And it makes sense when it's put this way. But what they don't realize is that people never punch up. So no, that's a lie. It's the opposite. People never punch down. They only punch up. They only punch up. They only attack people and go for the jabs of people who they perceive to be doing better than them. They perceive to have something they don't. They perceive to be doing something that they maybe really would like to be doing, or having the impact that they would maybe like to have. And you don't see people who are succeeding punching down. You never see anybody saying, oh, don't follow this person, or don't look at what they're doing, or don't join this, or don't do that. For somebody who is succeeding, just doesn't happen at all. So keeping that in your mind, you've got to think, well, they perceive that you're doing great, that you're a threat, or that what you're doing is going to make an impact, and they're fearful of this. And when people are fearful, they behave strangely. And it really is strange how they can behave. Like thinking that telling people lies about you, or going online and writing comments and things like that is actually going to be of any detriment to you whatsoever. It's absolutely not. It's completely and utterly the other way around. The other way around. So remembering that people only ever punch up, they don't punch down. Anyone who talks about you or says things about you, spreads rumors or tells lies or just gives a negative opinion, is someone who is probably living their life not in alignment with how you want to live your life. And that's what I've found when people come to me, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that, so-and-so said that. And I'm like, well, there's nothing you can do. Opinions are like bum holes, right? Everyone's got one. And online social media just makes it easier for people to voice them. But I always like to say, I'm grateful. I'm grateful because I get so many people come who say this was said, that was said, but I've watched you, I've enjoyed your content, or I've joined Entrepreneursty, or I've done this, or I've done that, or I got your freebie and it was insane value. Like, thank you so much for that. And then they realize, like, actually, I don't want to be around this person who says things about other people, this person who takes their time to go and watch somebody they don't like, do something they don't believe in, and then comment on it or waste their breath and their energy and their precious life is so precious telling somebody else about it. I want to sit at tables with people who are always looking for solutions. I want to sit at tables with people who are looking to change the world and make an impact. I'm looking to sit at tables with people who want to help others. That is the difference. I don't want to sit at your table if you're talking about anybody else. I don't want to sit at your table if you're going to sit, bitch, and moan. I don't want to sit at your table if you're going to create fake accounts online so you can watch people that you don't even like. I don't want to sit at any of those tables. I only want to sit at tables where they are having conversations about growth, about expansion, about how they can make more of an impact, about who they want to help and how they want to help them. Those are the tables that I want to sit at. So if you are those people, you have always, always, always got a seat at my table. Just so you know, it's going to be one bloody big table because there are so many people who truly live their lives in that way. They don't talk bad about others. When someone talks bad about someone else to me, I always think, so if they do that about them, what would they do about me? They're taking their precious time to do that. What about me? So it always rings alarm bells with me. So if you currently have anyone who has negative opinions about you, who talks about you, who maybe even like creates fake accounts and goes online, I think if these people actually truly believed in what they were doing, they do it in their own name for a start. So anyone who doesn't, just wipe it off and don't pay attention. If you want to find it, if you want to go looking for it, you'll find it. There'll be something somewhere. If you're doing something big enough that people have opinions, then you will find negativity, because with everyone you do. If you go and look at the people you really look up to, go and look at Oprah Winfrey, go and look at Tony Robbins, go and look at Mother Teresa, they, honest to God, have massive, massive hate campaigns online about them. Like the Medical Medium is a guy that I follow. I'm really introducing. I'm really into going down on my health journey, which lots of you have been following, and thanks for your messages, like really boosts me up. But if you go and look at these people, they are getting hated on, because anything you do that makes such a big impact will also have an impact on others who are maybe not doing it. Maybe they just don't believe in what you're doing, and that's cool too. Everyone's entitled to that, but just don't look. Just don't look. Just don't sit at that table where you're surrounded by that stuff. I always go back to my children when I feel like I need to just check like what I'm doing and is it in alignment. I always think about, would I be proud to tell my children like how I behave, how I act, how I've created what I've created? And if the answer would be no, Like, oh yeah, I spend an hour online every night looking at people that I don't like. And then I go and I troll them on these websites. Like, what a waste of your life. You don't realize that you've only got one life. You don't realize how precious it is. So if you're going through these battles, if you're going through this stuff, just know this. All the people have ever said things about me or trolled me or hated on me or anything, they just put money in my bank account. And I thank them for that. They just made me stronger. They just made me want to show up more authentically. They just made me want to be more consistent. They just made me want to make more of an impact. They made me realize really how precious life is, that I don't want to be those kind of people. This is what I want to be doing. So there is always learning to come out of it. There is always a good to come out of something. And just think, my coach made 20 grand from one person putting all their time and effort into creating a video. She didn't have to market to this person at all. So if that is anything to go by, don't worry about anything that you see online, anything that you hear, nasty rumors or incorrect things that are being said about you. You just keep on your path for your purpose.